Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Missouri Valley Football Conference 2-Minute Drill, brought to you by the Holiday Inn City Center, located in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm Jim Powers, and joined as always by Associate Commissioner of the Valley Football Conference, Mike Kern. And Mike, year number 3, things never change. North Dakota State wins their second outright, third consecutive conference championship.
The Bison are rolling. They've won 19 straight. It's the 7th longest streak in the history of the FCS. The record's 24. So if they were to run the table all the way through the playoffs, they'd be right there.
And when you talk about that streak, they're also in some pretty big-name company when you're talking about not only FCS schools, but FBS schools.
They're ahead of everybody except Ohio State, who hasn't lost in forever. But North Dakota State's certainly a great representative for our conference, great representative for the FCS.
And if they take care of their business this week, obviously they're going to get the number 1 seed overall, we would think.
I would think so. They might get it if they lose to South Dakota. They've been that good, that impressive. Their win over K-State carries a lot of weight, going 10-0 so far, certainly number 1 all year. But South Dakota will be a tough opponent this week.
Big game this week when we talk about playoff implications. Youngstown State, it's must-win for either Youngstown State or South Dakota State.
Well, we'd like to think that the loser still has a shot at the playoffs, but there's a number of great teams nationally that have an argument for their bid in the 2014 field. Youngstown State, South Dakota State, certainly for South Dakota State, we'd lost 3 in a row earlier in the year. They've been on a playoff binge since the very beginning of the month.
You know, we talked about some of the great teams, but also great players. Brock Jensen has done a fantastic job. And Martin Ruiz from Youngstown State, a couple of these young men that we could see for postseason honors.
Brock Jensen set an FCS record for wins by a quarterback last week. He tied Armonte Edwards at Appalachian State last week. He can break the record this week against South Dakota. Martin Ruiz became just the 4th running back as a freshman in league history to reach 1,000 yards.
It's going to be a very interesting Saturday afternoon, and then obviously Selection Sunday when we'll find out how many teams the Valley's going to get in.
ESPNU 10:30 on Sunday. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully we get 3 or 4 that are on the board.
Absolutely, Mike. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Jim.
For Mike Kern, I'm Jim Powers. Glad to have you with us on the Missouri Valley Football Conference 2-Minute Drill, brought to you by the Holiday Inn City Center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.